I'm John Crumrine, 109 East First. Earlier, everybody said they were against paid parking. Different question, everyone said they were against the idea of a shuttle to bring people from off-island. We all know, we've all talked about how many off-island folks come to the beach. I mean, everybody that's moving to all the surrounding neighborhoods, they're here because they like the beach. So they're going to come. We're going to have day trippers. It's going to increase. I'd just be curious to know what other solutions you've thought of if we're not going to have a control on parking and we're not going to bring people through a shuttle. What are some other creative solutions to addressing that?
Thank you.
Our parking is going to be coming to a very minimum once we start building the new community center. And we're already doing the town park phase 2, which eliminates all the parking there that we have for events and all. As well as with the community center, it's going to take up 100% of that green space. So and they're only going to allot for 58 parking spaces, according to the newest draft, and which is going to eliminate that green space that we can park in that could hold approximately up to 200 cars. One thing we can do I hope I'm answering the question correctly. Am I on the right track? Was it about parking? Was it? Okay. I thought, do what? Day trippers, yes. Well, so that goes along with the parking, yes. The pier, of course, is a private business, but we could possibly approach different businesses, such as the pier, to maybe have a lease for certain hours and pay them a certain amount from the town so that there's still free parking out there. And during events, I think like concert night, Oyster Fest. Well, Oyster Fest does that has the bus shuttle, but I definitely do not want a regular shuttle bus like it was proposed by Brunswick Transit System. But I do think that a shuttle for special events would be good because that would help. But as far as parking is concerned, we're just going to have to figure out other ways to use the real estate that we have to help create that.
I still think we probably can consider like Wendy was saying, a public-private partnership of some sort, but those are hard to put together at Ocean Isle, and I'll just let that sit where it is. If it's possible to do that, we should consider it. There's also one option that we haven't really spoken much about, and that is the fact that we have limited parking. If you want a spot, get here early. We've only got so much to offer. And it becomes an issue of what are we really trying to do? John talking about day trippers, and I agree, the crowd gets bigger and bigger every year. So we have a responsibility to provide safe, clean beaches. I'm not sure how much parking we have a responsibility to provide for those off-island. So it's something that we need to study and look at more carefully. If we can get people involved that already own property here to work with the town and work out some kind of partnership, then that would be something I'd be in favor of looking at and studying more fully. Short of that, and trying to split parking spaces, things such as that, with what we currently have to work with, we may just find ourselves saying, guys, we're full. Just like a restaurant parking lot that they got too many patrons and you got nowhere to park. You got here late. If you got a reservation, great. But again, it's who are we trying to serve here? How far do we need to take it? And what does the town need to invest in providing additional parking? I know that's not an answer, John. It's the only one I got for you right now. We can study it and look into it more carefully.
Well, I said I was not in favor of paid parking, and I'm not. Um, if we charge for parking, that's not going to create more parking spaces. I think that's the concern with the question. What do we do to take care of this influx we've got of needing parking places? Charging is not going to make more spaces. It's going to cause more chaos. You're going to have to govern it. You're going to have to enforce it. Is the police going to enforce it and write tickets? I mean, you're creating, in my opinion, you're creating a negative for the beach. And I must say this, and I don't want it taken the wrong way, but Ocean Isle, from what I've heard and seen in the years I've been here, has not been a real beach friendly, has not been really beach friendly to the day trippers. It's always been a thorn in the side of a lot of the people here. And I don't think rules have been made to accommodate them. Charging to park is not going to do that. Shuttling is not going to do that. We got to find a way to do it. And the best solution I've heard is when we're full, we're full. And again, that's got to be, excuse me, that's got to be monitored mostly by the police department. And now you're putting more work on the police. Now, how much can you just keep shoveling off? That's my opinion.
Well, this gets back to my earlier comment when we first started talking about parking, and you know, it can be a complex issue. I spoke with Terry, you know, again over at the pier, and I asked him, you know, how things were going with the paid parking there, and he indicated that 2 days this summer they were full, and that bothered him because he sells annual passes or summer passes to folks, and he was afraid they wouldn't be able to all use their passes, and he took responsibility for that. But that was 2 times all summer that the pier was full. I have not talked to Marnie yet about what their plans are here at the Isles. I know the Isles has paid parking during the summer as well. So here we have something that for day trippers coming in or other folks, you have on the west end, you've got the Isles. Down in the middle of town, you have the pier. One possibility, and I ran it by a property owner down by Charlotte who didn't like the idea too much, but a couple others did, would be to add more parking down in the median at Charlotte. And that would add us more parking spaces, and that's property we already have. The debate of whether it's paid or not doesn't matter right now if we're talking about more places for the day trippers to come. The, you know, Mark made the comment about, you know, sometimes you just have to get here early. And I came from a community, a coastal community, where you had to do that. If you planned to go to the beach, you got there early. You got your parking spot. If you wanted to park on another area or beach on another area, you got dropped off, and then you hauled your stuff over while the person went over and they parked their car. So how much convenience really has to be created, I don't know. That's up to all of you, how responsible we are for people coming here. When I did talk to the staff over at Town Hall, who are, you know, again, part of the day tripper population, you know, one of them made the comment, I don't mind paying for parking. He believed he's a consumerist, so he doesn't have a problem. If he consumes, he'll pay. Well, if the people off island don't mind paying, and if we already have enough spots here, then, you know, perhaps that is the root of our solution.
I had lunch Thursday last week with a very, very close friend of mine. And after our lunch, he said I was welcome to share this with other people. So I'm going to do that today. But this individual owns over 400 acres on 4 Mile Road. And this individual says that he has gentlemen's agreements and attorneys working on contracts now to sell that land. And he said I could talk about who the buyers are. One of them is Dale Webb. You've heard that out of Las Vegas, high-end builder. And the Toll Brothers was the other. What this fellow told me that in his conversations with these buyers, they have had deep dive discussions about these neighborhoods providing a van to bring people on and off of the island. And he said, as far as he was concerned, that was a driving factor of one of the sale preambles that is going to happen. So another way of looking at busing, but that's, some of the reason that we are having more people. I'd also just turn the glass around and look at it the other way. All these people coming in are not all bad. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have 2 nice grocery stores. We wouldn't have several nice restaurants that we have. And not to mention my favorite, a gelato and donut shop. So these people that have been coming in and renting are now providing more income to the town through accommodations taxes than you and I are paying with all of our property taxes. So think about that for a second. And, they're our bread and butter, so we got to find out some ways to make them happy. Thank you very much.
You had asked the question earlier about providing shuttle service over here, and we had a one-word response, so that's sort of nipped that in the bud. I'll go back to what I said earlier. I think when we're full, we're full. But it becomes our responsibility, if we're going to have structured parking, to have the facilities there, like the restroom, even if it's a porta-john or something like that, so that the people coming over do have those amenities available to them. When the idea of the Brunswick transportation system bringing people over came up, I really wasn't for that. But like David said, there's nothing to prevent a neighborhood or neighborhoods collaborating to run a shuttle to drop people off. It would be no different than, you bringing the neighbors over and dropping them off. And I think that that's one option that we have. Another option that I see, golf carts. If you look at what's coming across the bridge from the retreat now, everybody has a golf cart. They're coming over here, and we need to take that into account too. And one thought I had, and I think I may have shared it with Wayne, was maybe we could approach the pier about having a segment where the cars aren't parking, where we could put golf carts up there. And then there could be be a trash can and a porta-john there or something like that. So I do think there are creative ways to accommodate our off-island neighbors. I do agree that they're good folks. They want to come to the beach, but at some point we just have to say, that's enough. We're full, and we can't provide anymore, because what happens is with what I told you, feral parking, is there's trash left, and it's not that they mean to do it, but there's just more trash and things like that. So I think if we can be more, okay.